So out of the box, you got this big case. Just for comparison, I have the JBL TuneFlex 2 and the Soundpeats Air 3 Deluxe right here. Opening mechanism is smooth and controlled compared to other cases that just snap open and closed. The earbuds themselves look a little funny and are weird to put on at first, but you get the hang of it after a few wears. The charging butt faces down, the earbud part faces the direction you're looking, and the little drum here goes behind your ear, with this little rubber part holding both ends to clip on. It's very comfortable, and like many reviewers say, it's like you have nothing on your ear at all. Now, in terms of sound quality, these are pretty damn good for what they are. For something that basically hovers around your ear hole with no seal at all, the bass is pretty impressive. Like, it's not a huge amount of bass, but there's just enough to where it doesn't sound flat. As someone who wears earbuds like these, the bass isn't too far from home. You can even feel the drivers vibrating, so you know there's some oomph in there. What these really excel in is clarity and soundstage. You can't really have both. There's always a trade-off. When you up the bass on something, you muddle down that soundstage and clarity. And when you lower the bass, that soundstage starts to feel less confined, and you start hearing more detail in your sound. These earbuds out of the box have an amazing clarity and soundstage, and it's backed up by an optional feature called immersion mode that further enhances these elements. Then again, at the loss of even more bass. As a comparison, my old Soundpeats had good clarity and soundstage and a fair amount of bass, while the JBL TuneFlex had much higher amount of bass than usual, but it feels like the sound is more confined in a small box, and clarity often feels more muffled. Almost like you have a mesh over your ear or something. Even with headphones, I have these Bowers & Wilkins PX7S2s, and they're basically built for soundstage and clarity. It's supposed to be for audiophiles who love enjoying all the little sounds and details in their music. It has a big amount of bass, like all headphones should, but it's not going to be as punchy and noise cancelling as some of the models like the Sony XM series. So what are some downsides? Well, I like my music loud, and these are advertised to let you hear your surroundings. If someone's talking to you, you should be able to hear and have conversation while your music is going. For me, that's not the case. My comfort zone is like in the 70 to 90 range, and these things can get loud. Sure, I can hear like cars driving by maybe, or a garbage truck doing its thing. But if someone is talking to me or calling over to me, I'm not going to hear unless it's in the 30 range or lower. Maybe I'm just deaf, but that's how it is for me. Another downside is that because of how it's built, you can experience some random cutoffs, like your connection is not stable. Like if you cup your hand over the left earbud, you might cut off the signal completely. Or if you have long hair or walk under something, it also might cut off a bit. This is because the antenna is exposed rather than being protected inside your ear. I also hear mic quality for calls isn't great, but supposedly they fixed that with a firmware update. I don't use these for calls, so I can't really say much. One more thing is sound leakage. These things can get loud and people will hear them if they're close in a quiet area. This goes back to the whole thing with needing them at like 30% volume in order to hear anything, but also to not have so much sound leakage. If you're in a bit of a louder area, like in a living room with the TV on, 50 or 60 should be enough without leaking too much. Who are these for? Well, people like me who don't want to stick a big old plunger down my ear canal, but also for people who want a bigger soundstage, good clarity, and spatial awareness. Overall, these earbuds are great for my specific use case scenario. I listen to a lot of electronic, rock, and I play mobile games with these. I can enjoy all the little details in my music without shoving anything into my ear, and the amount of bass is just enough. If this use case scenario matches your interests, these may be a good match for you.